Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a week as beautiful as you. And on today's topic, we're going to discuss boundaries because they are essential to protect yourself and your own well-being. So if you struggle with setting boundaries, knowing what they are and understanding them, or what your boundaries may actually be, then this video is going to help uncover that for you today. And if you enjoy videos that motivate you, encourage self-development, and help you become the most authentic version of yourself, then this channel is for you. So if it sounds like your vibe, I'd love if you could like and subscribe. This isn't the time to be shy. Come on, give it a little like and subscribe. You won't regret it. Wow, boundaries. Oh my goodness, such an important topic to cover, if not the most important. Because boundaries aren't just there to show people how to treat you. They're there for you to understand yourself better, know what's good for you, understanding what isn't good for you, and teaching you to put yourself first and stop abandoning your own needs. But it's not as simple as I'm going to set a boundary and that's it. Because you could be joining this video thinking, I know what a boundary is, but I feel guilty for setting one. I feel guilty for putting myself first and I feel like it reflects badly on me. Or you could have a friend or someone in your life that when you do set a boundary, which is perfectly reasonable, they make you feel bad about it. They make you think, how dare you set that boundary with me? Like, what? And they make you feel like your boundary is too much. And then you sit to yourself and you go, okay. And then you talk yourself out of it because you feel that guilt. Or it could simply be that you don't know how to set a boundary. And all three of those things are absolutely fine. It's part of the journey. I have definitely done it before where I've put a boundary in place. Someone's made me feel bad about that boundary. And because I felt guilty, I've been talked out of setting that boundary. Or someone's tested my boundary and I've folded because I felt really, really guilty. We've all been there and it's part of the learning process. So you're absolutely not alone in this. You can be the strongest person, but you could lack setting boundaries, which today this video is going to fix for you. What are boundaries and how can you implement a boundary? It could be as simple as you are going through a really, really hard time and a certain topic for you is just too hard to talk about. You're meeting up with your friends and you always yap about everything and talk about things, and there's one specific topic that gets brought up but you find it's really, really hard for you to talk about and you aren't ready to talk about it. That's your boundary. That's the line. And the way you can simply say it when you speak to your friends is, if the topic gets brought up in conversation, you can just say, I really appreciate you asking me about this, but I'm just really not willing to talk about it. Done, dusted, all sorted, all done. And if you have some really good friends or just understanding friends or friends that just want the best for you, they'll just come around and say, no problem, absolutely, just know I'm here, we'll talk about it whenever you're ready, whenever you feel like you can open up about it or not. That's an example of you setting a boundary and it being received in the right way. I'm now going to give you an example of how you can set a boundary which is perfectly reasonable, but someone, for their own selfish reasons, their own emotional immaturity, or just their own blatant disregard for anyone's feelings but their own, will react. But again, you're not responsible for their feelings. So, for example, you could have someone in your life that you notice that actually they're speaking to you, or you've just spoken to them and they've spoken to you in a really disrespectful, unkind way that they wouldn't speak to anyone else like that. And they think because you've got that friendship or because you know them, they can get away with it. And those are the hardest people to set boundaries with, the people that you've had in your life for years, the people that you're connected to or you're related to. But boundaries have no limits. They can be your friends, they can be your family. If it's essential for your own well-being and peace, that boundaries are non-negotiable. So let's say, that person's talking to you disrespectfully in a tone that's not okay with you, that you're noticing, actually, this is past the line. I wouldn't speak to anyone else like this. You simply say, I really don't appreciate being spoken to like that. That's not okay. Like, we can't speak, like, you can't speak to me in this way going forward. Like, I'm not okay with this. But this has to stop from here. Perfect example of you putting a reasonable boundary in place. There's nothing wrong with it. There's no reason for fighting back with it. But then that person comes back to you and says, what are you talking about? I didn't say that like that. You're taking that the wrong way. You're being sensitive. Like, that's not how I meant it. Clearly, you're taking it the wrong way. You know that I don't mean that. You know I'm not like that. Like, how dare you think I'm like that? Like, what? I thought we knew each other better than that. When you were simply raising their actions to them, you were telling them, look, I'm not making a big deal out of this, but I didn't feel it was correct and I didn't like it, so let's just stop. But then they'll flip the switch and make it seem like a you problem. So then you cower down and think, oh, I feel bad about that actually. And that's just their way of getting out of it. They're just trying to talk you out of it so that they don't feel bad about crossing a line with you, crossing a boundary with you. And I honestly can't stand that. I can't stand when people can't take accountability. It's like, you've done something to upset my feelings. Just take accountability. You don't have to necessarily agree, but at least appreciate where I'm coming from. And if something's uncomfortable for me, just avoid it in the future. I'm not saying you have to change. I'm not saying you have to be a different person. Because if that's who you are, that's who you are. But around me, I don't feel comfortable with that language. I don't feel comfortable with that joke. Because again, a lot of people will turn around and make a joke about you at your own expense. And then you turn around and go, that was not funny. Like, that was at my own expense. And they just go, it's just joking. They weren't joking. They knew what they were doing. They knew that they were saying something at your expense. And they thought they could get away with it. And maybe they have in the past, which is why they keep doing it. But this is why it's important to have boundaries. Because if you notice that, you catch it in the act and go, no. And they have no other reason to not accept it, because they have to accept it, because that is your boundary and there's nothing wrong with that. And if they keep crossing the line, then that's obviously your decision to go, is this person good for me? Do I want this person in my life? Because they're going to keep crossing my boundary. And by crossing your boundary, it's going to make you feel worse and like they don't respect you. But you shouldn't feel bad for setting a boundary, because it's something to help you and protect you. And if someone at the core loves you and appreciates you and wants the best for you, they're not going to see it as a problem. They will take accountability for it. Maybe they didn't realise what they were doing, apologise, and you can move forward in a way that's better for you and them, because you've spoken about your boundary and what affects you, and they now understand a part of you or something about themselves that they didn't know. And then you grow in your friendship, which is great. You know, part of having a friendship, especially over the years, is you grow as people and you end up either coming together or you go apart, because you might have learned to set boundaries and be more mature and communicate better, but they might still be in that mindset of, why am I communicating? I don't want to communicate. I don't like boundaries. Boundaries are a roadblock. They're negative. And they just might not be at the same level of maturity as you. But that doesn't mean you should stop setting boundaries. That just means that you both can't meet at the same place. Because the thing with boundaries is, I've said this in a video before, people that have a problem with your boundaries are people that took advantage of you not having them in the first place. They may have gotten away with that behaviour for so long and known they've done that behaviour. They know that behaviour is not okay, but they've got away with it because you've never said anything. And because you've taken that bold move to set that boundary, they're going to take it negatively because they think you're doing it at their character when you're simply saying what's best for you. So next time someone makes you feel guilty for setting a boundary, pause, reflect, and realise that boundaries are essential for your own peace and well-being, and someone that loves you will want the best for you and will not want to cross that line and will respect your boundaries and see it as a positive, because they want you to grow and they want you to be happy, rather than a personal attack or like you're getting in their way. From personal experience, I have friends that don't like hugs. And, you know, that could be a boundary. They could say, I don't actually like hugs. And that, they don't even have, do you know what? Don't even explain to me why you don't have a hug. You don't like a hug, you don't like a hug. I'm a hugger, but if you don't like a hug, I'm not going to cross that line with you, because I know it makes you feel uncomfortable. So if you don't want a hug, you don't like hugging, then when I see you, I'll just say, hello, how are you? And that's it. We don't talk about it again, because unless they want to bring it up, of course, we don't talk about it again, because if it makes you feel uncomfortable, first of all, you don't even need to justify me why. I just need to know that it makes you feel uncomfortable, and that we just will avoid that in the future. Or like if I'm talking to a friend and they've got a topic again that makes them feel uncomfortable, or I bring something up and they're saying, I can't talk about that right now, I don't even question it. I go, no problem. I want you to know that I'm here for you. I hope you're okay. And if you do want to talk about it, I'm here. Going forward, I won't bring it up to you. And if months have gone past and I've seen that they've addressed it in some sort of way, or they lightly talk about it, I'll say, oh yeah, how's it going? But also, I know that before you said it was something that makes you uncomfortable, so I don't want to go into it too much, but if you want to answer the question, then please let me know how it's going. Because that's you understanding that they have a boundary in place, that there's something that they might not want to address, or they might not even be willing to address it themselves, and they just need a bit of time. And that's perfectly okay. We're not pushing people to give us answers. Because the thing is, say for example, there's a topic, another good example of someone taking it wrong. Say there was a topic about something that my friend didn't want to talk about. Say there was some, I don't know, she had a breakup or something, and she said, yeah, I've broken up with my partner, but I'm not ready to talk about it. But let's say I was looking at it from my own gain, right? I wanted a bit of drama, I wanted a bit of, I want something, I want some information, I want some gossip, I want some juice. I might turn around and say to her, oh my God, no way, is it this? Is it this? Is it this? Just keep pushing her to get an answer. And then she keeps saying no, but I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And I'm not respecting her space. I'm not respecting the fact that she doesn't want to talk about it. I just want to know the answer, as in I want to know the gossip. I want to know what's going on. That's a really unkind thing to do, because I'm not caring about her feelings. I'm not caring about what she's going through or the fact that she doesn't want to talk about it. I'm going to keep prodding because I want to have a bit of drama. I want a bit of gossip. And that is so unkind. Like really, really unkind. And it's hard for people because they'll feel vulnerable at the time, and then you keep prodding, and then they feel pressure and they feel like they have to tell you. And they don't. They absolutely don't. But because they're in that moment, you're taking advantage of them. You're taking advantage of the fact that they feel vulnerable and they're not strong enough maybe at that time to stand up for themselves. So they'll tell you out of guilt. They feel like they have to, they people please and tell you. And that sort of stuff doesn't sit well with me because it's just so manipulative, it's so mean, and it's not necessary. So the next time you feel like you want to set a boundary but feel guilty, just remember, if it's for your own well-being and it's to make you feel better or for you to feel in control or at ease of a situation, set that boundary. Because like I've explained previously, if someone takes it in the wrong way, that is a them problem, not a you problem. The right people in your life who love you will go, cool, you set a boundary, let's say X set a boundary. They'll go, absolutely fine, no problem. Won't even ask you any questions. They might check you're okay, but they won't ask any questions because they understand that you're doing it for your own safety and your own peace of mind. And of course, if you want to talk about it, and also the fact that they're doing that, when you do want to talk about it, if you do want to talk about it, you can go to them because you won't feel that pressure. You won't feel that anxiety. You won't feel that force. And you'll feel ultimately safe. I also want to validate if you've ever been in an environment or you've grown up in an environment where your needs have felt too much or you are there to nurture someone else's needs for yourself. This could be something you're not even aware of. You couldn't automatically switch to the fix it, saver mindset and think that's your responsibility when ultimately it's not. Your responsibility, number one, is you. And number two, when you have the capacity and the time, your friends. And again, your friends will know you for the person you are, so they'll know you're not doing this to be a bad person. And if anything, they'll respect the fact that you're honouring your needs and putting boundaries in place. And boundaries are one of those things that once you're aware of them, it takes time. You learn what your boundaries are, you learn what's difficult for you, what your non-negotiables are, and you start to notice and it starts to highlight who are the people that cross those boundaries. Which going forward, if anyone crosses your boundary, you know now, if you didn't know before, that's a them problem, not a you problem. It doesn't mean you should stop putting boundaries in place. If anything, it means you should be having boundaries firmer and more in place, especially with those people, because your peace is number one. Your well-being is number one. Anyone who has a problem with that, then let them live in that narrative, let them have that issue, and carry on respecting yourself and putting yourself first. I hope this video has helped, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your week and a day as beautiful as you. Ciao for now, Bellas.